Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a new story. The name of the story is What If Naruto Was Born as the Protector of Uzumaki Namikaze Family. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted story and my own idea. Now before continuing this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And yeah, I'm finally back I guess. I'm still recovering, that is why I'm taking it easy and not uploading any short movies, but hopefully once I make a full recovery I will be able to do so. Thank you for your kind comments. Yeah, I have read many of your comments throughout the whole week. It was, quite a tiresome week to say the least. Anyway, the good thing is that I am almost recovered and yeah, it's done and gone. Thankfully. Anyways, I hope you all are safe because it is a viral infection. I mean, getting sick and all that same way I did. So stay safe, wear proper clothes while going outside and all that. And yeah, I don't need to tell you guys, but still, it is my responsibility because I went through something that I don't even wish my enemies to go through. So you guys are like family to me. So obviously I have to tell you guys this, okay? Just take care of yourself, okay? That is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, enough said. Without any further ado, let's begin with our today's story. Our story begins inside Uzumaki Namikaze compound, inside Konoha Gakure no Sato. As we go towards the said compound to see that two people were seated there and they were waiting patiently in the living room for someone. One of them looked quite pregnant and that one was none other than Kushina Uzumaki. And the other one was Minato Namikaze, the current Hokage of the said village as well as the head of the said house. How long is he gonna take, Minato? Said Kushina after some pause. Sensei, he usually takes some time. He'll be here in no time, Kushina. You just sit back and relax, okay? And that is when there was a knock on the door. As Minato, with a bright smile, ventured there as Kushina looked quite, frowning. As the door opened, there stood none other than Jiraiya of the legendary Sanin. As he then said, Minato, my boy, how have you been? Hey sensei, come inside. Kushina-chan and I have been waiting for you. You took a long time to come by. You told me that you'll be here like a few hours ago. I was just distracted here and there. Distracted, or were you peeping at women? Said Kushina, as Jiraiya immediately understood the undertone as he flinched and said, Kushina, you are pregnant, so you shouldn't be, getting mad or so on. It affects the kids. I know, trust me, I do. Seriously. As Kushina calmed her nerves down, as Jiraiya then with a smile then said, well, I am happy to announce that I have good news for you, both of you, actually. What news? Well, that is why I'm here, Minato. The news is that your child is going to be the child of prophecy. Remember the prophecy that I told you about when you were young? Yeah, I remember. But I thought you told me that this prophecy was vague and it could not be fulfilled because there was never going to be a child of prophecy. You have been looking for him for quite a long time, even before meeting me. I know what I said, but I think this is it, Minato. The child born from red and yellow. I mean, think about it. Kushina has red hair and her title is Red Death. You are the Yellow Flash and you also have blonde hair. Not a coincidence, I say. I guess you have something going on there. And your child will be the one to bring peace finally to the whole elemental nation. Listen to me, Jiraiya, said Kushina. I don't buy this stuff. You know that, right? This is my child's life, and I am not gonna push him or her in any sort of direction just because one stupid man thinks that he believes in it. Whoa, Kushina. I mean, Sensei is not entirely wrong. I mean, I did hear even the Great Toad Elder say things about the prophecy. It's alright, Minato. I get it that Kushina wouldn't believe me. Listen to me, Kushina. How about this? Once the children or child is born, you let me see, and we will decide if the child is the child of prophecy or not. Okay, It is decided, said Kushina with a smirk on her face, knowing that it was a challenge, and she, being a Uzumaki, didn't like backing down from a challenge. As Minato sighed. As now we see, a few months passed as the birthing process happened on October 10th. Fortunately enough, nothing wrong went by as Minato tightened the security and Jiraiya was also there, so nobody could get in or out, and everything went smoothly, and Kushina gave birth to triplets, Menma, Mito, and Naruto. As now we see, the Uzumaki Namikaze family was moved to the hospital, which was more evenly guarded by the Anbus. As this was going on, we go towards the outer skirts where we see two people watching this all. Damn it. Just our luck. Who would have thought that Jiraiya would have been here and the security would have been tightened tenfold? Said a being that appeared from the ground next to the masked person who was standing there. As the masked person then said with a clenched fist, "No worries, we will be able to get it one way or another." I just know how. Are you going to attack? If you do, you might even not be able to survive this, Obito. It is our only choice, now that we retrieve back into the shadows and wait for the right time to attack. As Obito then let it go and disappeared. Keep an eye on them, Zetsu. Keep an eye on them. And once we find an opening, we take it. As now we see on the other side, Kushina was happy and was crying tears of joy, and Minato, he wasn't having any favoring better because he only thought that they were going to have twins, but in the end they had triplets. As that is when now we see Jiraiya arrived. Well, what do we have here? A happy budding family. And here I thought you were going to have two kids. I guess one's added as a bonus, huh? Jiraiya, sensei, you're here. Oh, shouldn't I be? I get it that you need some private moments and all, but still, come on, kid. Even I'm quite shocked, and I thought that you were a failure in that department. As Minato blushed, as Jiraiya chuckled. Seriously, Minato, I'm proud of you, kid. As that is when Minato had real pride beaming in his eyes, knowing that his father figure looked at him with pride. Becoming a Kage, strongest shinobi, and now a loving husband and a father to three. I really am proud of you, of how far you have come. You too, Kushina. Thanks, Jiraiya. So, about our bet now, Jiraiya. Don't back out on it. Of course not. But hey, to be honest, let's just wait a few years. What do you say, Kushina? I got all the time I need. Jiraiya. As now we see, a few years went by, as the kids reach at the age of 3. As this was going on, we go towards the council chamber, in which we see Minato Namikaze was currently in the battle and a heated debate against the finest of Konoha, the elders, the civilian side of the council, and the shinobi side, each demanding a bit of share to their own sector to be increased, as Minato was tackling them. As after finally calming each and every sector down as usual, Danzo stood up. What is it, Danzo? I thought that the budget has already been allocated. It's not about the budget, it's about the Jinchuriki. I wish to know who is the Jinchuriki now. It is still who it was before. I see. So the new Jinchuriki has not been made? No, because we didn't find it necessary to be. I see. That is good then. But you do know, Minato, that even Mito-sama saw the usefulness of making the new Jinchuriki, because once she gotten old, she was not able to, participate in the war, and she became useless as a Jinchuriki to the village. As even his own teammates, Koharu and Homura, were mad. You are insulting a legend as well as our sensei's wife, you know that, Danzo. I am stating the facts. An old Jinchuriki who is bedridden is a useless Jinchuriki in the end. Don't you think it is time that Kushina passes on that duty to someone else? Minato had a serious expression, as everyone was quiet. As Hiruzen then spoke up from his side as his advisor, Danzo. Not anything bad has gone to Kushina. Kushina is still young. Even if she has given birth, she is able to withhold and withstand the QB as well. Meaning the seal that Mito-sama placed is obviously laced with things that her own seal wasn't laced with. So, you don't need to worry about anything. And Kushina isn't old yet. She's still young. You don't have to worry about anything. She can be a mother and a Jinchuriki when she needed to be. Trust me when I say this. Isn't that right, Minato? As everyone else flinched, knowing the terror of the Red Death on the battlefield. As now we see Minato with a bright smile, then confidently said, "Yes, I do believe you are right, Hiruzen-sama." Well, Danzo, I guess that answers your questions. There is no longer need for this debate. This meeting is adjourned. As now we go towards the Uzumaki Namikaze household, where we see the 3-year-olds who are playing with one another in the backyard, unaware that someone was watching them from the shadows. As the night appeared, they went to their room upstairs, which was a triple-decker bed on which each sibling laid. As the parent, after the mother put them in, we see that someone climbed into their room through the window. As immediately they were flung off their beds, as they were slammed against a tree next. As Naruto's eyes opened to see that his older siblings were on the ground and covered in blood and wounded. First I'm gonna deal with you, brat, I guess, since you're awake, and then I'm gonna enjoy my time with them. Who are you? Asked Naruto. Well, kid, don't blame me. If anyone have to be blamed, it is your father. You see, he took away everything from us. Everything. And now we are having a little payback of our own. As by instincts, Naruto, seeing this visage, knowing that something bad was going to happen to his siblings and his family, lunged towards that man and from his shinobi holster grabbed a kunai. And as owned by instincts, he jumped onto his head and cleaved off his neck by slicing it through, cleave through off with the said kunai. As now we see Naruto covered in blood, with the head of the said shinobi in between his palms, seated against next the tree. As his siblings woke up from the terror, Naruto, are you? It's alright, Nesan. Rest. Tochan and Kachan will be here. As Mito, who was trying her best to stay awake as the older sister, also fainted. And once every other shinobi and jonin arrived there, and what they found terrified them. A 3-year-old kid, and in his hands was the head of seemingly the one who was behind all of this. As now we see Kushina and Minato arrive there. Kushina, seeing her condition of her children, took them away to make sure that they were cared for and were in better health. While on the other side, Minato was in serious expression, still standing there, looking towards the decapitated body. As one of the Anbus arrived near him. "What is it, Kakashi?" he said without looking towards him. "Sensei, the shinobi. It was from Iwa. We found the Iwa headband. Gather the council. It is time we have a meeting and dealt with Iwa." As now we see, a council meeting was arranged inside the council chamber, as Minato was seated there inside the Hokage chair. As in front of him was the whole council, already aware of what has happened, and Minato was just staring at them from left to right, as if trying to identify who the culprit was who talked, because it was obvious that only the council knew about the birth of his children. Not even the public knew yet. As now we see, one of the civilians then stood up on his own. As Minato didn't say anything, just said, "Talk." As he began to explain that how he was drunk one night and having the time of his life when someone came near him and made him blurted it out after a few drinks. You use the information of my children as an excuse of losing a bet? You are hereby banished from the council and you will never be recruited back. Your rank, everything you owed, is revoked hereby. Get out of here. This is the least I can do for you. The most lenient punishment. As after that was done and gone, we see that Minato arrived home, where his wife was waiting for him. Did you take care of it? Yes. I promise you that this won't happen ever again. Make sure it doesn't, Minato. It is our kids that life depend upon it. As after that we see a few more years passed as nothing went by, and the kids were grown up now, to the point that they were starting the academy soon, and everyone was quite happy about it. Especially Naruto, who was going to be with his siblings and his best friend Hinata-chan in the academy. Now, one thing about Naruto was that, unlike his siblings who were quite popular with the other kids and clan head kid, Naruto only had made one friend, and that was the shy girl Hinata-chan. And that was the only best friend that Naruto had aside from his family. And now we see that the kids entered the academy for the first day, and he saw Hinata getting bullied by a few genins. Naruto arrived there and told them to stop, but once they didn't, Naruto grabbed the brick nearby and literally made them bleed by cracking their skulls open. As Hinata calmed him down, but Naruto wasn't. One thing about Naruto, his siblings, and his friend Hinata knew about was that he didn't take any sort of backlash about his loved ones, or once his rage increases, there is no point in trying to calm him down once he calms himself down. As now we see, after beating them to a bloody pulp, Naruto stopped, wheezing for air and panting heavily. Unknown to him, this was seen by the group of classmates of his, who were also on their way. As now we see, Naruto entered the class, the whole class fell silent, except for his siblings, who asked him where he was. As Naruto then said, "Oh, just taking care of a little bug, that is. Someone was bothering Hinata." "Hey, Hinata, are you okay?" asked Mito. "Yeah, I'm fine now. Naruto can take care of it." As Naruto went and sat next to her, and right next to them was Menma and Mito. As Naruto then went to sleep, and that is how the whole academy years went by. Naruto didn't acted as a active shinobi or, well, jonin, because all he wanted was just to pass through this and have a good and happy time with his, well, siblings and friend. As now we see, the final year and reports were coming in, and the team placement was about to be made after the final test. Naruto, being the dead last, obviously passed the test. Nobody made fun of him, even though he was the dead last, because once Kiwa tried, and he ended up spending a whole month in hospital. So yeah, nobody after that tried. As now we see, inside the Hokage office. "So, what do you think, Minato? Should we place all three of your kids together, or separately?" I think with Hinata, Naruto would be able to, form a nice team. And besides, Tsunade-sama has only agreed to come back if only 2 students are offered to her, and I think I'm going to offer Naruto and Hinata, since she always wished for a Hyuga student. What about Mito and, Menma? Mito would be also a nice addition aside from Hinata. Said Kushina, "No. Sensei has already asked me that both of them would be reserved for him so that he can train them." Who would have thought the Sanins passing down their knowledge to 2 children instead of 1? Said Hiruzen Sarutobi. "This is certainly very good, Minato." "Yes, that is why I didn't bother trying to change any of that. I mean, this is a good opportunity for us, Kushina, and for our kids as well. Naruto and Hinata will be learning under Tsunade-sama herself, and Menma and Mito will be learning under, well, Jiraiya-sensei. And as for the other teams, they'll be as we discussed earlier. Is that clear? Hi, said all of the Jonins who were present there. As after that, he looked towards Hiyashi Yuga, who was patiently waiting for his turn to speak. You have anything to say, Hiyashi? Nothing. I'm quite happy and pleased with this. There is only one thing that I need to discuss with you. What is it? A political marriage, Minato, between both of our clans. What? What do you mean by that? Our kids are 13 soon and are going to be adults by the, standards of a shinobi and konoichi. And Naruto and Hinata have been close since the beginning. So I think it is high time we made sure that we made it official. Oh, about that. We were going to discuss this properly after visiting you, I guess, but yeah, I guess it is high time we kind of did discuss this. As the conversation was now on a lighter note going on there, while on the Shinobi Academy the tension was quite high. As now we go towards the academy to see that the kids were murmuring that they did not want it to be a part of the team with Naruto. As now we see, that is when there arrived Jiraiya himself, as he appeased everyone. Well, kids, you don't have to worry about dealing with that kid over there, because neither am I going to be dealing with him. As everyone was now confused when Jiraiya said it like this, as that is when he was bonked on the head by another figure that arrived inside, shocking everyone. Tsunade-sama. As Naruto opened his eyes. Ah, Bachan, you're finally back. Jeez, you damn kid. I told you to not call me that here, but you are an old hag, so I'm gonna call you that. You are my Bachan, right? Said Naruto. As after realizing that it was futile to argue against this dense idiot, she sighed. Whatever you say, brat. You and Hinata Yuga, both of you are with me. As after that, both of them got up and left with Tsunade. As Yuka then said, wait, Tsunade-sama, Hokage's orders. I'm gonna be taking them in as my apprentices. Or rather, you have him deal with other Genins. No, I'm grateful. As Jiraiya then looked towards Menma and Mito and took them away. As after that we see every other Genin sighed. Even Sasuke did sigh of relief, knowing that the menace of the whole class was gone now. As now we see Tsunade was in a training ground with both of them, as Naruto still looked somewhat tired because he was resting. As Tsunade said, at least have the gal to sit straight in front of me, brat. I'm going to be your sensei soon. Jeez, Bachan, you already know me. I'm tired. Always am, always will be. You have to let that go, Naruto, or else who might know what will happen. As Naruto then got up straight, because if anything Tsunade knew, it was that Naruto's only tick or weakness was his family. Anything regarding is said about it, he will be 100% serious. You have my attention, you old hag. You and your ways. I still have some ways too. Well, aces up my sleeve. As now we see, Tsunade then began to tell them about the training regime, that how they were going to go on a training trip for a few years, and they were gonna be away from the village. And so could be said for the other siblings. Naruto obviously didn't want it to be part with his family, but after, a lot of consultation and a lot of ramens, and, assurances, he finally agreed to, be separated from his family. As now we see, a few years passed, and during these few years we see Jiraiya and his, team that has gone on their own training trip have run into some sort of difficulties, and Jiraiya decided to contact, Tsunade. And Tsunade was hiding this letter from Naruto while trying her best to help out Jiraiya. That is, trying her best, because Naruto found out that what happened. Reading that letter, Naruto found out that they were ambushed by a group of organization known as the Akatsuki, and Naruto vowed that day that he was going to be the one to put an end to that organization. And after that, he searched down the bingo book and marked down each and every one who was affiliated to that organization. mentioned in that bingo book. After gathering clues for what seeming like the last few years of their training trip, Naruto returned ever more stronger and also ever more vicious because he has been taking his bounty hunting missions way more seriously, even going as far as not leaving any of his bounties alive, just bringing in the salvages to, well, recover the bounty. He was given the nickname the Ace Hunter because he hunted down for the kill. As the Akatsuki has gotten also the wind of this, and they were not happy one bit because such attention towards them, even if it was insignificant, was still not needed. As now we go towards Amegakure, where we see they were having a meeting about dealing with this menace that was coming after them, one after another, gathering clues bit by bit. He's coming closer than ever. We have to put an end to this, said Zetsu. You don't need to worry about him. Besides, I'm itching for a challenge, said Kisame. Then how about you and Itachi go and deal with this? Alright. What do you say, Itachi? Let's get going, Kisame, said Itachi. Now, why was Itachi here? Itachi was here because he was sent here as a double agent by Minato. The whole Uchiha clan was seemingly massacred, but in reality it was hiding and alive, kept alive by the Hokage himself, and it was a well-kept secret between him and Itachi only. Even the rest of the elemental nations knew that the Uchiha clan was massacred, and Sasuke had to act like an emo brat to keep up with the act that the Uchiha clan really was gone and he was the last of the Uchiha survivors. As now we go towards Tsunade and her team resting area in Tanabata town near Konoha. As nighttime arrived, Naruto's eyes opened, as he saw that on the window that was open were seated two figures. Akatsuki. As immediately Naruto lunged forward, grabbing them both by the neck and slamming them into the ground. As Kisame wasn't able to dodge that, but Itachi was able to disappear in the murder of crows. As Kisame impacted to the ground, he coughed huge amount of blood, as now we see him regaining his footing, as he had a huge smile on his face. Now this is what I call a huge battle. You excite me, kid. Come on, don't disappoint. Oh, I won't. As after that, we see the battle commenced, as Samehara broke through his kunai, and even pierced through his skin, or more like grazed through it, as Naruto was in pain. What the hell? What kind of sword is that? He thought to himself. So you do realize, huh? Samehara is quite different. And I am the only one who can use it like this. So you see, as Naruto then used 100 healing marks, shocking them all and punching the sword so hard that it shattered into bits, and punched Kisame with the same force-induced punch so hard that his brain splattered everywhere. As Naruto was panting heavily, we see that Itachi came down there. Well, you made a lot of mess here, Naruto. You know that, right? What do you want, Nissan? I told you that I will deal with Akatsuki on my own. I don't need your help. I'm here to tell you that they have taken notice of what you have been doing, Naruto. And I told you that leave this to me and to your father. We are dealing with them in our own way. It is not effective. They targeted my siblings. I know. I was there. You allowed them to... Well, they only grazed them a bit. They wanted to check how the Hokage's children were training because obviously your mother is one of our targets. Targets? You see, the Jinchurikis are the endgame here. Or have you forgotten? What are you talking about? Let me guess, your father didn't tell you. No, he didn't. Jinchurikis are the endgame of the Akatsuki. They are after them. More specifically, the Bijus. What happened to the Jinchurikis if the Bijus are taken from them? Obviously, they die. As hearing that, Naruto at that moment looked towards him. Take me to them. What? Are you insane? I'm not gonna do that. I want to go there. They're gonna attack Naruto soon at Konoha. Be prepared. I don't know when. It can be tomorrow or it can be within a few weeks, but they will attack, and once they do, you will have your turn. Other than that, I can say is just wait and train. Be well, Naruto. As after that, we see Itachi disappeared in a murder of crows as Naruto slammed his fist to the ground. Damn it! I'll be damned if I let my family be a part of their game. I'm gonna crush them with my own hands, even if it's the last thing I do. As now we see, a few days later, there was a huge reunion at Konoha gates as the Uzumaki Namikaze siblings finally met with each other after a few years and with their parents as well. As it was an emotional reunion, more like Naruto was the one crying anime tears, hugging his whole family. My family, I missed all of you so much. As all of them were on the verge of having their backs broken because of how hard Naruto was hugging them and holding their breaths. As after that, we see a few weeks went by and Naruto and Hinata usually blushed whenever they looked at each other, and this did not go unnoticed by his siblings and by his parents. So one night at dinner they asked him, and Naruto was a blushing mess and told that he confessed to Hinata, and to his surprise Hinata told him that she already was his fiancée. As Naruto again began to blush like a red tomato, as his parents began to laugh, knowing that even if Naruto was somewhat kind of, mental in the head, he really was their son in the end, and they were happy for his happiness. As this was going on, we go towards the Akatsuki, where we see that Itachi informed about the sudden demise and his escape from Naruto. I see. So Kisame is done for. Well, you gotta admit, the brat had enough strength to pierce through that numbskull's sword. Even I and my clay couldn't do that. So that deserves a praise. But he's our enemy, Deidara. You think that we should be doing that? Enemy or not, we will take care of him. Itachi, go take as many as you want and do a recon on Konoha. We'll be launching an attack soon. It is high time we dealt with the Uzumaki Namikaze family once and for all. As now we see, a few days went by and Itachi's signal came to Naruto, and it was written down now, as suddenly huge amount of catastrophe began to occur, as Konoha was nothing more than a mess now. Naruto, seeing this, looked for his family, as during that time he was attacked by different Akatsuki members. Seeing them as hurdled, Naruto's rage was increasing even more bit by bit, and that is when he saw that his siblings were also being beaten by the Rinnegan user. As seeing this, Naruto had enough. His rage knew no bounds, as Naruto, unleashing all of his rage and power, which was his physical strength, brutally brutalized them and beated them to the pulp, to the point where they begged for death. But Naruto gave them something much worse. A painful life. A painful where each and every second was painful for them. Even breathing was painful for them. As after going through all of them, we see that Naruto grabbed finally the masked person, who he was punching again and again and again until his whole knuckle was painted red with the blood of the said man, as his father arrived to stop him. As after that, he finally stopped as he began to pant heavily. I'm sorry, Dojan. I didn't mean to lose my cool. It's alright, son. It's alright. You dealt with them. They're all dealt with. As after that, at that day, the civilians, the whole Konoha, realized one thing. Never mess with the Uzumaki Namikaze family. And the whole elemental nation as well, because if they did, the Akatsuki was a prime reminder of what could happen. Because Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze was their protector, born and bred to protect them from all and every sorts of trouble and problems. And as for Naruto, after that fight and the recovery process, Naruto was married to Hinata, and he also had his own sets of, two children, Boruto and Himawari, both apple of his eyes and born with the same mentality as both of their parents, Naruto and Hinata. And as for Konoha and Uzumaki Namikaze family, they lived happily and safely thanks to Naruto. As this is where I'm going to be leaving the story off, guys. I know it's quite short and it's quite weird. It's because, well, maybe medicines or something, because I tried to make it into an interesting story, but yeah, it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed today's story, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. If you like the content of this channel, you can leave in your recommendations in the comment sections. I will be picking out an idea soon, just an easy ones, okay, because I'm still recovering, and this story alone, you're not gonna believe this, took me at least 4 hours to record because I was running out of breaths high and low. And yeah, I just don't have the stamina to sit down and record 1 hour or 50 to 40 minute stories anymore. Anyways, it's it's fine that I'm back. At least I'll be properly back in no time soon. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. Anyways, this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing off for the day. Peace!